Alright everyone, I am back with my review for tonight's Raw for September the 30th, 2013. Show starts off with CM Punk in the ring, and he says that everything will end with when A, he puts Curtis Axel to sleep, B, he beats Ryback, and C, when he gets Paul Heyman alone in the ring. Brad Maddox then comes out because CM Punk had said he wanted a match tonight with Ryback. Brad Maddox comes out and says he's the Raw general manager. Punk pokes fun at the fact that he doesn't have entrance music. And Maddox says he can give him a match, just not with Ryback. Big E Langston then comes out and says that if you want aggression, I'm your man. And he hits Punk with a microphone. They get into a fight, leads to a match between CM Punk and Big E Langston. This match started on the WWE app. I don't have the WWE app, so I can't really judge the entire match. I'm going to judge based on what I saw, which is it was a decent match. Big E Langston controlled a great deal of the match. Obviously, they want to make him look good against Punk here. Finish comes when Punk hits to go to sleep on Big E Langston, gets the pin 1, 2, 3. Then we have Fandango against Kofi Kingston. This match was a decent match. Some back and forth offense, but in the end, Kofi gets the win with Trouble in Paradise. Then we have Randy Orton is backstage with talking to Brie Bella, talking about the engagement between Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan, which is actually kind of surprising that WWE's actually playing that up and actually saying that they are in a real relationship outside of television. I guess Total Divas had something to do with that. But he says that Brie better make her wedding sooner than later, because if she makes it after Battleground, Daniel Bryan will be in no condition to marry her. That leads into a Renee Young interview with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman basically says he has a trap for CM Punk because there's Curtis Axel in one kind and Ryback somewhere else. And it was decent, but Then we have the debut of Los Matadores / Primo and Epico. Their new names are Fernando and Diego, and they have a little person in a bull costume accompanying them named El Torito. Whatever. They do this whole bullfighting routine in their entrance, and they have a match against 3MB. It's not much. They get a win of some kind of double Samoan drop dealie. Yay. Then we have the Rhodes family, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon Family Summit, in which Triple H and Stephanie run down the history of this angle of Cody Rhodes, saying how it started with him, he lost, then Goldust tried to win his job back, couldn't do it, then Dusty refused to pick a son. And by the way, Michael Cole, during this in his infinite wisdom, said Dusty Rhodes could not pick which job got their son back. Whatever. Basically, the proposition was this. Cody and Goldust can get their jobs back in the storyline. Cody can get his job back, and Goldust can get a job in the storyline if they beat Rollins and Reigns this Sunday at Battleground. If they lose, then they will never work for the WWE again, and Dusty Rhodes gets fired too. Dusty Rhodes then takes the microphone from Triple H, puts his hand in front of Stephanie McMahon to say, "Talk to the hand." Triple H says, "Don't push it, old man," which then makes Dusty Rhodes want to be in Cody and Goldust's corner for Battleground, which is agreed upon. Then the Shield beat up the Rhodes family. We also had a Bray Wyatt promo in which he said that he's been trying all his life to figure out why things happen to him. He'll take them down one by one, and then to follow the buzzards. Yeah. So then we have Curtis Axel against R-Truth. This match was a decent little match. Axel's about to win. Punk's music starts, distracts Curtis Axel. Truth hits that move Shelton Benjamin used to do, which I believe is now called the Little Jimmy, and gets the win. Then you have Brie Bella versus Alicia Fox. this match wasn't anything. Brie Bella won with a sit-out facebuster. Which is obvious. She's facing AJ this Sunday at Battleground, so they have to make her look strong going into the match. Then you have a Renee Young interview with The Big Show, in which he says that he's fed up with everything that he's had to do, and that he's going to knock Triple H out. You have Alberto Del Rio against Zack Ryder, which actually was not a squash match. Ryder got a decent amount of offense in. But Del Rio eventually like DDTs Ryder's arm on the rope, and then he puts him in the cross arm breaker. Ryder taps out, giving Del Rio the win. Then backstage, the Big Show is asking Brad Maddox where Triple H is. Maddox says he doesn't know. Big Show slams him against the wall and holds him there, and tells Maddox to go find Triple H, and he's going to wait in Maddox's office. Then we have Paul Heyman proposing to Ryback about being a Paul Heyman guy, which is interrupted by CM Punk. He jumps over the barricade, appears to injure his knee. Heyman goes over to check on him. He's being checked on by doctors. Punk takes it, pulls the kendo stick out, hits Heyman in the knee, and then attacks Ryback and Curtis Axel with a kendo stick, and they all retreat. Yeah. That was a interesting little promo there. Then you have Dolph Ziggler and the Usos against the Shield. This was a really good six-man tag match. Finish comes when there's a blind tag between Rollins and Reigns that Dolph doesn't see. He hits a zigzag on Rollins, but then Reigns hits him with a spear, covers him, gets the win for the Shield. So, yeah. Then we have Santino Marella versus Antonio Cesaro, and the only real spot of note in this match was Cesaro pretty much did to Santino what he did to Titus O'Neil on SmackDown, which is spin him around the ring about 26 times, I believe. Santino gets up, falls back down, and then gets a really lucky pinfall for the win. Big Show's backstage again. The police come up and say that they have words that he's been threatening a WWE superstar, and he might have to come downtown with them. Stephanie says that everything, that he hasn't been himself, he's been under a lot of stress, he's knocked out Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and Dusty Rhodes, and basically the police drop the charges. Then Stephanie says she talked to Big Show's wife, and Big Show has not been performing his duties in the bedroom or something, which then makes the Big Show punch the wall. Yeah. And that's how that segment ended. Wasn't much of anything. Then we get the Daniel Bryan Randy Orton face-to-face. There's a lot of back and forth stuff. Daniel Bryan says that he will beat Randy Orton, become the WWE Champion, and he goes, yes, 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 which Randy Orton then says, no, 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 and how can anyone with a one-word catchphrase become so over? And then he says that he doesn't understand why Brie Bella would settle for Daniel Bryan, and that one day Brie's going to realize she's marrying an inferior superstar, which makes Daniel Bryan attack Randy Orton. Orton eventually gets the upper hand, repeatedly throws Bryan chest first into the ring post, beats them all over the place. Brie Bella he's about to DDT Daniel Bryan from the apron to the ring. Brie Bella comes out begging Orton to stop. He DDTs Daniel Bryan anyway from the apron to the ring. Orton then destroys the announce table, and then RKO's Daniel Bryan through the announce table, and the announce table breaks. That's how Raw ended, and then Brie checks on Daniel Bryan. That's how Raw ended. It was a decent show, but for a go-home show to Battleground, you kind of need to advance more things, which it did not do a really good job of. So, kind of a hit-and-miss show. If you DVR'd it because of Monday Night Football, by all means do that. It would be much. It wasn't boring, though. I didn't fall asleep watching it, so that's a plus. So, yeah. If I can, sometime later this week, I'll give my Battleground predictions. And so, like this video if you watched it, subscribe down below, and thank you.